I'm Sharon Savidson. Welcome to my podcast, Uplevel Your Life with Sharon. I'm a certified coach and a holistic practitioner. I'm also a mother of 2 adult children. I started this podcast so that I can give you bite-sized pieces and tools that you can take away with you, so that you can use these in your daily life. In all of my years of practice, my clients have told me that it helps them to have specific tools that they can use and practice on a daily basis. So, I want to provide you with many tools, and then you can decide which of the tools resonate with you that you can use on a daily basis or when you need them. So whether you are feeling frustrated with life or you're just looking to enhance your life, this podcast is for you. If you are ready to uplevel your life, you're in the right place. So let's move forward together. Today we're going to talk about the first step in the 4-step process, which is identify, cleanse, imprint, and maintain. So we're going to identify and acknowledge what's going on in your world. So by showing up here, you've made a commitment to doing the work, right? And if you consistently do the work, you will get the results that you want. You know, a daily practice, no matter how small, will yield a change. So we're going to start off by taking stock of where we are. We're going to take inventory of what's going on in your body and in your life. Right? If everything in your life felt aligned, you probably wouldn't be looking for change. Although I believe that no matter where we are, there is always room to uplevel. And I used to believe that my happiness was dependent on what was going on outside of me, all of the external things. You know, when things were going well, I felt good. When they weren't, I didn't. And over the years, I've learned that happiness is something that we cultivate. You know, even if you were born with a low happiness set point, the good news is that you can change it. And we'll talk more about happiness in another episode. So let's start to take inventory and explore what's really going on. I'm going to take you through an exercise, and you'll need a pen and paper. You may want to do this when you can find a time and space where you won't be disturbed, and also put on some calming music. You know, pause the recording if you need more time to think about something than I've given you in order to write down what you need to write down. So I'm going to encourage you to do this exercise with compassion towards yourself, really, and to be non-judgmental and kind. We're just noticing what's coming up, and we're acknowledging what it is for now. So we're going to make a list of different areas of your life that you may want to work on, like your finances, your self-image, self-worth, relationships, romance, health, recreation, family. You know, add any other areas that I haven't mentioned. And remember that even if you identify an area as being one that could use work, it doesn't mean that you need to be working on that area right now, right? You may not be happy with your friendships right now, but you don't have the desire or the time to invest in that area just right now. You know, maybe down the line you will. So the purpose of this exercise is just to identify and acknowledge what is going on. Now, next to each category, you're going to write down what's working and what you're grateful for. And if you can't think of anything, that's fine. But if you can, just write down 1 or 2 things that are working, 1 or 2 things that you're grateful for. And then once you've done that, then go ahead and write down what isn't working in each of the categories. Write down what you're not happy with, what isn't working. You know, go ahead and write down what your beliefs are, your thoughts, your feelings in each of the areas. You know, what is your self-talk around it? And you may even want to write down what others think about or believe about this area. You know, what it could be finances. You know, what is your family's belief about finances? What is going on in your body? So You may even want to give each area a satisfaction value on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being dissatisfied and 10 being very satisfied. So this way you'll be able to track any changes, once you've started to do the work. I find this particularly helpful with my clients, as I find that they tend to forget where they started out. So, as I said, right now we're just taking inventory and acknowledging what's there that we're aware of, right? And as you start to do this exercise, you're going to get deeper insight into your thoughts and feelings and emotions. And what you write down initially, may change over time. So go ahead and keep this list somewhere so that you can revisit it or write it down in a journal, and then you'll be able to track your progress over time. And don't be surprised if things surface that you didn't remember or that you weren't aware of. That's what the purpose of this exercise is. Thank you for listening to this episode of Uplevel Your Life with Sharon. Congratulations on taking a step towards obtaining the knowledge and tools for your well-being and your success. But remember, knowledge alone isn't enough. And true transformation comes from consistent action. So what insight from today's episode will you be able to apply to your life? I'd love to hear from you. Please send me a message. And for more information, please visit my website at www.sharonsavitson.com. If this podcast has been helpful, please subscribe and share. And together we can uplevel and inspire more people to live their best life.